Welcome to Martial Mentality, a martial arts inspired podcast. Today I have with me Mr. Joe Blackwelder and our special guest, Mr. John Cabrera. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you, Sifu.
John, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's John Cabrera. I'm a relatively new student here at Northern Shaolin School. I've been doing Kung Fu for about 3 years now. So, not new, but, I'm fairly still new to martial arts. I'm coming along pretty good, I think, and I enjoy being here and really enjoy doing Kung Fu.
So John actually gave us the idea for tonight's topic. So our topic is going to be martial arts is for everyone. And so John wanted to expound upon being somebody that's older and jumping into the martial arts later in life. And so we're going to just kind of dive right in. And so, John, tell us about your experience doing martial arts at an older age.
Wow, where do I begin? No, it's definitely been a wonderful, wonderful experience. I didn't know going into the journey that it was going to be such a it's just been a wonderful experience. I was very intimidated being a little bit older and never doing any martial arts before was very intimidating for me. And I can understand out there if there's any older people who are looking to start doing a martial art and hey, they don't know where to begin, and that was me. I did not know where to begin. I grabbed a couple of DVDs, a couple of, Kung Fu, introduction to Kung Fu 101 DVDs, and I just started doing it at home. And I was like, I wanted to take it a little step further. And hey, that's where the journey began. And it was a little spark that turned into a bigger flame. And I just wanted to pursue that.
Nice.
So, Joe, I know for you, so John, if you don't mind telling us, how old are you?
I am 52 years old.
Okay.
52 years young.
And there's a bunch of females out there saying to themselves, that son of a lied to me right now.
Hey, this is just a number?
Yeah, you know what they say, age ain't nothing but a number.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, Joe, you started martial arts in your 30s?
At 30.
At 30.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So this is
Been
going to be great
couple
because,
years now, yeah.
Normally you hear a lot of people like, oh, I did this when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But both of you did this as established adults.
Right.
So quite interesting. And then I started as a late teen. So I'll tell you about my experience. So, Joe, tell us about your experience starting martial arts at the age of 30 years old.
Yeah. For me, it's been great as well. I was always interested as a kid, in martial arts. I just never really pursued it or, I had other passions at the time. I was a skateboarder, but like I was always interested in martial arts, but I never really brought it up to, my grandmother, and said like I'd like to join a class or something like that. So I came here one day because there were some people I knew filming something here. And as soon as I stepped in here, and I was just like a kid in the playground, in the gym, I'm talking about the school, and I was like, I have to come back and meet these people. So I came back the following Tuesday. First person I seen was you, shook your hand, and I've been here ever since. But my journey so far, me and John have been here about the same amount of time. I think you showed up like the month after I did.
Yeah, it wasn't shortly. It was shortly after.
It was shortly after, yeah. It's a humbling thing, but it's also, it really pushes you to try to better yourself. And I feel like entering at 30, and now I'm 32, I'm already starting to feel some of those aches and pains of age. But I consider myself like not even in my prime, or maybe I'm around my prime. Like if I keep pushing, I'll hit my prime. But like some people say 20s and stuff like that. I'm telling you, I am in way better shape than I've ever been in most things. Like I ran a faster mile when I was in my early 20s, like there's some things I probably could have done better. I was faster, but like overall, I feel like I'm in way better shape. And it has to do with this. Totally.
What about you, John? How do you feel overall?
I mean, hey, I just go off the feedback that other people have told me and the feedback that I got. has been I am basically a different person now than when I was when I walked in here 3 years ago. And for me, those types of comments blow me away. I've done sports throughout my whole life. I've been active and played basketball. I was active in high school sports. Even afterwards, I was in like peak fitness basketball league, things like that, little leagues like that. And I have noticed the most positive changes in mind, body, and spirit from being in Kung Fu for the past 3 years. I mean, it's like Joe said, you know, you feel it, but it's a feeling of it,
You want to.
it's good pain. It's pleasure pain because it wakes you up and it makes you become more alive. And I think a lot of people out there my age, you know, you're searching for something to do with yourself. You're searching for that outlet. And hey, if you are anywhere remotely thinking about martial arts or that type of activity, please, by all means, pursue it and keep that dream alive and keep that flame going. Yes.
I think a lot of people, and we talked about this before we got on the podcast, so people who are older are intimidated by martial arts because what they're seeing media-wise. They see all these young guys, people beating up on each other, you know, rough workouts and things of that nature.
Fighting. I mean,
Yes.
martial arts is fighting
It
in
is.
a sense. Like it is, but there's more to it, and there's more to it when it comes to different disciplines.
Right.
Like Kung Fu is one of those disciplines. It is fighting. It's not just fighting.
Right.
It's about hard work over time,
Yes.
and it's about longevity.
It should be about longevity. A lot of the traditional martial arts have a longevity aspect to them because
Health. Yeah.
if,
Yes.
you know, there's an old Kung Fu proverb that says, you know, you should be able to do what you did at 20 at the age of 60. I'm just kind of paraphrasing, you know, basically. But basically it's saying that if something that you know, don't train something that you shouldn't be able to do at a more advanced age, you know? And so, yeah, maybe with Northern Shaolin, you know, you'll see people who are, I mean, I just saw a gentleman in his 60s performing the form, still able to do tornado kicks and things of that
Right.
nature.
It's impressive.
It is impressive for that age bracket,
Right.
because people in their 60s, 70s, a lot of times they become sedentary in their lifestyle sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
and some people, I think it's a mindset. I don't know, maybe John, since in your 50s, you can maybe tell me about how your demographic age group is, but I know for somebody like right now in my 40s, I see a lot of people that just state, oh, I'm in my 40s, I can be lazy.
Yes.
And that's kind of the mindset that they have. Oh, I can just be lazy. I don't have to do much anymore.
Right. I've met young people with that attitude, and it's kind of sad.
Right.
You know?
It's you get into that comfort zone and you do not want to get out of it. You get on that couch, you put in your 8 hours at work. You come home, you do the family thing, and hey, it's tough to get in the car and come to class. It is. I'm not going to say that this is going to be easy for you. By all means, I'm not saying that. If you get into the right school, it definitely won't be easy for you. I will say that. But the benefits you get, and we were just talking about this like Sifu said, if you're older in life and you start, the benefits you get, the later on you live through your life as you get older, will be better than if you started this at a young age and then maybe after a few years just said, hey, I'm good. I'm not going to do this anymore. You will get more of a benefit doing this at an older age and continuing on. You'll live longer. You'll feel better. I'm sounding like Dr. Phil here, but it's basically a no-brainer. If you're trying to get yourself out of that comfort zone and do something for yourself, this is
Yeah.
a great activity.
I always say, progress happens outside the comfort zone. That's with anything. If you're stuck on the couch, which is easy to do,
Yes.
then you're going to stay there.
I'm not knocking anybody. Hey, health issues,
Yep.
things like that, time constraints. We all have those, the personal things that can hold us back. you're making the time for yourself. Do it for yourself. There's no better person than to do it for is to do it for yourself and make yourself feel good, and it's feel good about yourself because you're doing it. You're doing something, and that's what's going to get you off the couch and out of your comfort zone.
I read a quote earlier that said something about like, as you age, especially you get much older, if you make it to that like a late age, they say like, looking back through your life, usually the biggest regret, and I'm not saying people, you should try not to have regrets, but if there's one thing people regret, it's not doing what they loved more.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing.
Let me tell you, that's one thing now that I'm, a middle-aged man. I have very few regrets in life, and I'm happy about that.
Right.
But John can tell you this too. As you get older and you see your peers, you see how life has worn them down, and you talk to them, and you start to hear the stories of, man, I wish I would have did this when I could have did that. I should have did this. I didn't do that. I did this.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yes.
At 30, I'm 32 right now, and a lot of my friends they all say, they don't say I wish I could have. It's like more like, oh, I want to do this, or I want to do such and such, but I don't have time. I'm freaking working. Like you said, kids, and it's like, I got just as much time. Like, there's 24 hours in a day, friend. You know what I mean? Like, you got to make the most of it. And I spend time. I'm not putting anybody down, but if you want something bad enough, you'll make it happen.
Yes, you will.
Right. And you can start being older and starting, hey, look, you're not going out there and just jumping into this thing. No, you're gradually easing yourself into this. We just did a conditioning session today, and nobody got hurt. We all feel good. Mm-hmm. We all got an intense workout in, and we were hitting each other with creating contact on our bodies, and that's the type. This is the type of thing I'm talking about. You're not just jumping in, beating yourself up. No, you're easing into it gradually and building yourself up. That's the goal here.
I just want to shout out John and say this, you ease into it, but I remember what I said earlier about me feeling like I'm in my prime.
Mm-hmm.
John busted my nose earlier today while I'm defending myself. Like, he drew a little bit of blood. So you can be in good shape in your 50s. You can be in, I've seen like 50-year-olds that are still, if you're active and moving, like, you're inspiring to me.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? I hope that as I age in 40s, 50s, if make it that far, 60, that I'm still able to move, and you know what I'm saying? So
I'm still here because of the inspiration I get from y'all, from this attitude, this facility.
I think that's one other thing that people don't think about. You're also entering into like a community. That's one reason to do it in person. And every gym's different. Like, some gyms, if you're intimidated by it because you see like fighting, like, I don't know, you see like Thai fights or MMA fights, and you're like, that's all they see. There's a lot more to it than that. It's not like if you're 60 or you're 70, and you're coming in here and it's like, no, we're not going to just throw you in the ring or even make, you're not going to make them spar if they don't want to. It's like, let's see what you're capable of. And then you push the envelope from there.
Yes.
Your movement, your mobility, your like what you can aim for.
Right.
Right. So
do what you're capable of doing and just build yourself up. It's Kung Fu has a way of sort of letting you know where you stand.
Right.
Right. And
it's humbling.
And by the way, it must have been just a lucky shot on Joe's nose, because
I wasn't lucky.
He was
That's
dishing it out on me too. So.
What you said,
it's all love.
It came to my mind, but it's good martial arts will meet you where you are.
Yeah.
So
right.
like if you are in phenomenal shape, well, guess what? That style, that teacher, whoever you are, they can push the envelope. Okay, guess what?
Yeah.
You can run a mile. Now you're running 10.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Let's challenge you. Let's push you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's push you. But I'm only challenging you enough because I know you can do it. I'm not going to try to hurt you. We're going to build you up.
That's right.
And one thing that we talked about, was it Monday or was it, no, it was last week. We talked about this. We want to instill confidence, not fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And a lot of people who, if you're a good instructor, because I know a lot of people who are not good instructors, and they're not good gyms. So, like, no matter what style you do, you can go to a place and it not be a good fit for you.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Absolutely.
You got to find the place where you fit in. And so we had a podcast recently that talked about McDojos
Yeah.
and commercialization of martial arts.
Right.
And so you have to do the research to find a place that is going to help you grow as an individual.
It's like they should give you real confidence, not the false confidence. Like they should give you confidence, but also give you hard truths.
Yes.
You know, I feel like that's the way. You know, like I love what you said a minute ago, and I've heard that from other people too. That good martial arts should meet you where you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It will.
absolutely.
Right.
Whatever level you're at, that's where we're going to start working.
That's where we're gonna go. That's where we're gonna go.
Right.
You know, some people come through these doors. They're phenomenal athletes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I can push you.
Yep.
And then you have some people, they just got off the couch. Okay, guess what? I can meet you there too.
That's right.
It should
That's
be
right.
able to meet you once again where you are and whatever your level is. And our job is to get you to that next level.
Yep.
And the word that you were trying to go for earlier that I meant to say when you're like that feeling of just, like accomplishment. The word that comes to my mind is euphoria.
Oh, yeah.
It's euphoric.
Perfect.
Where you feel, oh my goodness, like you just feel so good. Like you just said, we just did a conditioning session. And when I got done, I'm like, man, I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel great. Like we stretched. That felt good.
Right.
We were doing the conditioning. We weren't killing each other, but we felt the contact. That felt good. Then we worked, we did some basic form work. That felt good.
Yep.
We had a little philosophy session afterwards before the podcast.
Yeah.
That felt good. And so all the things, feeding our mind, body, and spirit,
Yeah.
everybody's building each other up. We have a community. We're joking. We're laughing. And those things, unfortunately, a lot of people in our world don't have those things.
Yeah.
And that's all part of the journey too, Like there was times in here where I was trying to throw crazy roundhouse kicks and I fell on my butt,
Oh, yeah.
And wasn't nobody
too.
surrounding me, laughing at me. They're picking me up, asking me, "Hey, you okay?" It's you're going to make those mistakes, and like Sifu said, it's very important. Get in where you fit in. If you feel good about the place, you feel good about the environment. The Sifu is dedicated. The sensei is dedicated to his students, training the improvement and the bringing up of the students. Not the breaking down, but the bringing up. That's the environment you want to be in, and it's out there for you. You just got to find it. You just got to make the call, send the email,
Take action.
Get in touch with the Sifu. Get in touch with the instructor. Ask the questions. Ask, hey, do you have an adult class? Hey, 60. Hey, I'm 45. Is this going to work out for me? You've been doing this for a long time. Ask me, is this going to be beneficial to me? Do you do the things that you think that I need to do in your class that I should be able to do at this age to keep myself in
That's
shape?
right.
And ask those questions because, hey, you're there. It's your time, and you're there to make the most out of it. Get the most out of your time while you're there.
And usually I feel like a good gym or instructor, they'll kind of ask those questions too. I've called around a lot of places just to see, or even popped in places, just to meet them or talk to them. And a lot of times when you call, if they're like, just come on by, I mean, you can, but it's like, I feel like a lot of the good ones, they asked me straight up, like, do you have any experience with martial arts? Like, how old are you? What are you interested in? And that was welcoming to me.
Yeah.
So
They're taking interest in you.
right. There's a million reasons to do this thing. So you got to find your own reasoning of why you want to do it, but you can benefit from it no matter the reason.
Yes. Yes.
And I think, to piggyback off what you're saying, when I get phone calls from people, I kind of just feel them out. Because people are going to ask me questions. Some people just want information, so I give them information. But then some people want a little bit more. So then I'll say, hey, so what's your deal? What's going on with you?
Right.
And I try to develop that rapport because for me, I don't know how to teach without developing rapport with people. That's why in class, that's why I give people nicknames and joke with them and things of that nature.
Right. Everybody's got their personality. You know what I mean? Everybody's got it. So
Right. That's why it's so funny with the teenagers. Timmy earlier. Timmy's like, oh, you scare me. But I know Timmy's not really scared of me.
No.
Timmy doesn't want me to challenge him. That's what it is. He knows I'm going to challenge him. And so he uses the term scared, but you keep coming back.
No. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep
Which
coming
means
back.
you like it here.
Golly, if there is any one, we've said this, but if there's any one person who's like that word like grown, and not just physically, you know, like he's came a long way.
A very long way.
He needs to try to look at himself from the outside in.
He can't see it, but we can see it.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, big time.
And we try to tell him.
He was a timid kid when I've only been here 2.5 years. He was like a timid kid,
Yes.
and he was like throwing some stuff at me earlier. Like
He was doing well. I was
He's doing
surprised.
great.
He's doing really good.
Right.
Martial arts has taken him to a level that surprised me. I've seen young folk get involved in sports and programs that they've never been involved in or they've never done before. But the improvement and not only just physically, but mentally and maturity wise has been phenomenal for that young man.
Yeah. That's like I don't do this a lot or enough, but I feel like it's another reason why I suggest. And now I do have a little bit of experience outside of just Kung Fu. A little bit.
You do.
Not a ton. I've done some karate seminars. I've been training MMA for a little bit,
Yeah.
some wrestling and jiu-jitsu. But one thing that's specific about Kung Fu is what's outside of the class. When you're watching the movies and they say Kung Fu is everything, that's true. And I feel like the kids and teens don't grasp that yet.
Not yet.
Not
They're not
yet.
mature enough
Not
yet to
yet.
get it.
Right.
Right.
But even in your creed for the kids, you know, it's like having discipline in all areas of your life. Like when you sign up for something like this, it's like everybody's got the reason. I get that, but it pushes you and it encourages you to do well in other areas, not
Yes.
just my fighting ability in that. My mental discipline, like my family life, my communication, my work. I have more pride in stuff like that. Like I don't want to come in here. And I'm not gonna be the one to cuss on here, but you know, I bust my hump, right? Like I'm sweating, and then I don't want to go outside and be a lazy piece of crap.
Yep.
Right.
That's not a good martial artist. That's not what Kung Fu's about.
Right.
So I feel like I benefit any age.
It has.
Well, and the thing is, you know, to go back to all of us are at different stages of our life, 30s, 40s, 50s. And we're all getting the same thing. But again, like I said, it's meeting you where you are. Where are you? Where are you in your life? You know, if you need friends, this is a great place to have friends.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It is.
I mean, it's a great place to have friends. If you are looking for people who probably have similar likes and interests to you.
Training buddies.
Training
Yeah,
buddies,
tra-
right.
partners.
It's people that are trying to better themselves. It's,
Right.
It's people.
Yes.
It's good people to surround yourself with. And this is like, it's not to put down anybody that goes out. Like, take people that go out and hit the bars. Right. I was one of them. You know, and I'm not downing those type of people. You can meet great people out there.
Right.
But like when you associate people with like going out and partying versus people that are hitting the gym, you think about it. You think about them differently.
It's different.
It is very different.
Where do you spend your time?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree with Joe 100%. And it kind of goes back to, hey, you're doing it for yourself. You need to make the best use of your time you possibly can. And martial arts has a way of bringing out the best in people if you're willing to stick to it. It's a tough love. It's not an ordinary love.
Right.
It's
Hard truths.
It is.
Yep.
It is. But I can't say enough about the positives. And if anybody is looking to start to begin this journey, I encourage you to get into a good school, talk to a good sifu, find you a good training partner, mix it up a little bit, sweat it out a little bit, get out of your comfort zone, get
That's
off
right.
the couch. You know,
Take
you're
some
doing it
action.
for yourself, and that's the best person to do it for.
I can definitely say that the thing that I really enjoy about our school is our sense of community, because if one of us needs something, there's usually somebody in the building that can assist us with
Yeah,
it.
I was just about to say that same thing. You said it the other day. We got a group chat, you know what I mean? And anytime any one person says, hey, can somebody help with that, you're going to get somebody
Oh yeah.
or a couple that are going to help you.
Yeah, you know, and that means a lot.
It means a lot. Yeah, it truly
You
is.
know, or
Support.
Yeah.
if I'm going, let's say if I'm going through something personally, there's somebody that I can come talk to here where I can go, hey, John, I'm going through X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. What do you think about that? And John's going to be like, well, Sifu, boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
I appreciate that because he's going to be honest with me.
Right.
I'm gonna shoot you straight.
And
Yes.
I want that. I
Right.
need that.
Yep.
Because people who were, this is my opinion. I don't know how everybody in YouTube land and how you guys feel, but people who love you will tell you the truth.
They will. They will. It's the honesty you get from somebody who cares about you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get people like, sometimes even your family members, man, they tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Sure.
Take a load off.
Right. Maybe you should rest today.
Right. And like, or don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
nah, worry about it.
Right.
Get up. Do something about it.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Yes. Don't let that complacency. Don't let that complacency cause you to not better yourself, not want to achieve more for. And I'm not just saying this because, hey, do it. You need to do it.
Yeah. We're in an age of mediocrity.
We are.
Oh, my
We are.
gosh.
It's
Big time.
everything's
It's-
at our fingertips.
It's like the norm is substandard now, and that's what kids are thinking is normal.
Yes. I mean,
You
there's
got to work.
There's a difference between, I could sleep in a garage and I'm not going to wake up a race car driver.
Right.
I could be here 24 hours a day, but if I'm not working that bag, if I'm not working weapons, if I'm not working forms, if I'm not listening to Sifu's teaching, I'm not getting. What am I doing?
Right.
Right. So be constantly doing a self-retrospective and telling yourself, hey, where am I at and what am I doing? Couldn't I be doing something better? And if the answer is yes, then do it. And this is a great environment. And get into a supportive, healthy environment, and you will go far.
Yeah.
Let me say this. So I'm glad you said that we're in an age of mediocrity. And, like we were talking to the teenagers earlier, I know we did our little mock tournament and we were, doing our thing. But I meant what I said about their scores. The scores are mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that because
Right.
guess what? That shows that you're just being average. Stop being average.
You're just here.
Yeah. Stop
You're just
being
doing.
average.
You're going through the motions.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not going to get you on the medal stand. Those scores.
No.
Not even that. It's just getting the habit of being above average in your life.
With everything.
Be
That's it.
excellent in your life.
I remember when I learned that skill. I know who I learned it from. And it wasn't something he taught me straight up and said. It was just by watching him. It was a guy I worked with in the Navy. Everything he did, there was some stuff he didn't like to do, and he had his flaws too, trust me, and nobody's perfect. But when it came to his work, his attitude, and his daily mannerisms, he was 110%.
Yeah.
He stood out.
Yeah.
I worked out more than he did, and other areas, but his demeanor and how he worked.
Yeah.
He was the go-to guy because of how smart he was with the equipment we worked on, and just like he was a leader.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And people like that should be an example. Like it's a lot of times you shouldn't compare yourselves to others in a way that's going to cause you to feel down about yourself.
Yeah.
I believe it was C.S. Lewis that said this. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is the person you were yesterday.
Yeah.
And when you think about that, that's pretty profound because each day, you will have the setbacks, but you want to try to work on self-mastery, and that's a journey that's going to build, and it's going to take you time to. It's going to something you're going to have to build up over time, and it's not going to be an overnight achievement. You're going to have to work at it.
Yep.
It's something
You
people don't want
just
to do.
said that. What does Kung Fu mean? Hard work over time. Concentrated skill over time. You just said that mastery takes time. And unfortunately, in our environment that we live in, particularly in America, I want it right now.
Yeah.
Give it to
Yeah.
me right now. I need it right now.
I'm trying to teach my son. It's going to be a long journey, I'm sure, but all I'm trying to teach him is just, it takes hard work to get things, you can't be a master guitar player, master drum player, or, a great martial artist. It just takes practice.
It does.
Everything's take practice. A good jump shot. You're not going to have a great jump shot right off the bat,
Yep. Or the good artists. I mean, you have the prodigies that can sit down and you have the Beethovens and the Mozarts that can write the whole all movements
Who was
in a
it?
session.
Which one did they say had perfect pitch?
I
There's-
believe it was. I believe
Was it
that
Mozart?
It's probably Mozart. 'Cause
They say he
Beethoven
had
was kinda
perfect
dead. Yeah,
pitch.
perfect pitch.
He was not perfect pitch is not a thing you're born with.
Yeah.
He only has perfect pitch because he studied music for his whole life, and he knows all the keys. He knows what they sound like, knows the scales.
Yes. Yes.
He can hear a piece of music and instantly say it's in whatever C major, whatever.
Yep.
He knows.
Right.
It's not like you can take some kid who is just good with music and doesn't know like music theory and say what is this? He's not going to know.
Right. Right.
Perfect pitch is a term that somebody coined.
And the artists and the artists and martial artists they're artists too. They've perfected their craft and they've worked on their craft their whole life, and that's the type of mentality that it takes, the dedication and the mentality and the love, the desire to achieve that level for yourself.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to that one guy I was talking about in the military, just because it's not really a story, but it's just a kind of a point, right? After I kind of seen, like, even before I went to my ship, I was in school with this guy, and every time he's not around, he was like, people knew, like, oh, he's the guy. He's smart. It's just the way he carried himself. And I seen that carry. He did that even when he got to the ship and he was getting ranked up and all this. But like, I was like, man, like, I'm going to try to start treating stuff the way he does. Because in high school, or at the end of high school, I straightened out, but I used to not care. Right? I was like, I'm going to start like actually putting forth some effort in everything I do. Okay, everybody that goes to the ship, minus the engineers, they have to do what's called cranking, where you go work in the kitchen for a month, or it's like a month or two, right? And I was like, I'm gonna be the best one y'all have ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody likes that job.
Yeah.
Like the cooks have the worst job, man. It is terrible. They work insane hours.
I believe
every day.
I believe it.
And it's just. But like
I've heard
either
that.
way, yeah. So I went in there and like, if you're good, you get to be the one for the chiefs, or if you're even better, you go up to the officers.
But you think about it, they have the insane job, but they have one of the most important jobs
That's
Yes.
right. It is.
because they have to keep
If you don't
everybody going.
That's right.
And
That's right.
like you don't realize that. And
You're
so-
never mean to the cooks.
No.
you better not
you
be.
You want to be friends with the cooks.
That's right.
Right. You want to help them out when you
That's
can.
right.
Better
Right.
be
So
nice
when
to
I
them.
was in that job, I did everything I could to make their life easier. That's what you're there for.
Right. And it's funny you mention that. It's like, okay, I'm in this position. I don't like being here, and I'm uncomfortable being here. But you know what? I'm going to do the best job I possibly can.
That's right.
I'm going to put myself in a position where I can be successful, even when I'm in this job that a lot of people aren't really too successful at.
That's right. My current boss, he's got a saying every time I show up to work. Everybody's different. If it's a shop day and we're kind of just doing our thing, he don't say it as much. But when we got like a big job where it's a big install day and we got heavy stuff to lift and
All
a lot
hands
to
on
do,
deck.
the first thing he says is like, "You ready to excel?" Like,
Yeah.
or because
Yeah.
today's an opportunity.
That's
Yeah,
Like,
and that's a good attitude.
I'm always
to
like,
have.
heck yeah.
And I think one thing martial arts has taught me, as as a person, no matter if I was in my teens, my 20s, 30s, 40s now, the attitude I have towards something can make a huge difference in how I perform, whether or not I'm going to be, even if I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
still need to have a good attitude.
There's your
about it.
opportunity to excel right there.
I still need to have a better opportunity. But just because I'm struggling with something, and I think a lot of people, when they're not good at something, I'm just gonna throw it away. I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Oh, yeah, I tried that. Didn't work.
It didn't
How
work
long
for
did you
me.
try it? 5 minutes?
Right, exactly.
Everybody who says about guitar, it's like, oh, I tried, It's like they picked up a guitar and tried one chord and said, no, it's too hard.
too hard.
Nobody can do it the first time.
Yeah, they find out they got to read music, and oh no, I don't want to do that.
They got to practice?
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember at Western when I was a music major, they made you practice an hour for every ensemble you were in, and you could be in like I don't know, marching band, jazz band, symphony band, pep band. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to think that's
You
4,
gotta
5, 6
like,
hours a day.
you gotta kind of want to do stuff,
You have to
like
love it.
there was a kid I was in college with who he would, it was kind of like he was trying to quote unquote flex, right? Like, because he was fairly new to guitar. He'd probably played for a year. But every time he talked about practicing, he's like, yeah, man, I played yesterday for like 4 hours, like trying to flex and everything. But I'm like, and this is not me flexing, but I never would say it, but I'm like, good job. Like, I'd encourage him, man, because you're learning, you're getting better.
Right.
But like, I have played guitar all day before when I didn't have nothing to do.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Sit there and play.
if you want to do something, if you want to get better at it, you're going to find a way.
That's right.
Right.
You know, like,
That's right.
I played like, you know, I should be better than I currently am, but I've played for over 20 years now. And there was days where I played 8 to 12 hours, you know, like put it down, I'd eat a meal and I'd pick it back up and play for all day.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I had the time. So I'm like, good on you. But like, you don't gotta like, you know, if you want something, you're going to find a way to put in the work, and you don't got to boast it, you know, just.
And it's the quality of the work you put. I remember Seafood made this point to me when I was talking to him about training. It's like, hey, you know, yeah, you're here and you're doing the training, but how about the quality of your training? And you know, that makes a lot of sense, you know.
Going to the gym is step one.
Yeah.
It's what you do in the gym.
That's
you
it.
know?
Right.
That's it. Are you actually using the equipment, or are you actually just sitting on it taking selfies?
Yep. Yeah. You said the same thing. Like, everybody's got the reasons for being here.
Yeah.
And, you know, some people do come here for companionship and to, you know, some fitness.
Yes.
But, you know, some people may not be here for the companionship. Some people want to come here and
Socialization.
grind, like, you know,
Yeah.
sweat. Like,
Maybe.
so it's a mixture.
It
you
is
know?
a mix.
But like you said, it brings out the best in everybody, and everybody's here to help each other.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
And this is what I've learned too. Once again, I keep going back to this kung fu. You just meet you where you are. Because if you got somebody who may be social, right? Maybe they're not working as hard. If you have a good community around you that can encourage that person, you can kind of plant that seed to say, "Hey,
Work on your focus.
work, yeah,
Yes.
Work on maybe we'll talk after class.
Yeah.
Right now, let's work.
yeah."
You know,
Hey, I'm about to do 20 push-ups. Join me real quick.
if exactly.
Let's
How
knock
about-
these out together.
Yeah,
You
come
get
on. We're gonna
somebody
do it together.
who maybe doesn't talk at all, like
Right.
really quiet. Like, you get a new student and he,
Yeah.
you know, he feels like he's frustrated or something. He works out hard or something. But it's like,
Right.
hey man, just what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
maybe try to help him out.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
right.
Right.
It's meet them where they're at.
Meet them where they're at.
Yep.
And going back to age again, you gotta meet people where they're at.
We said this before, man. Like, if you're 60 or 70, we're not expecting you to want to come in here and then join a freaking full contact fight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
you know,
It's not going to be like that.
No.
It's a good school will bring the best out of you at that time, and it'll keep bringing the best out of you. You'll have setbacks. Yeah, you'll have those.
it should be humbling to a sense. You
It
know?
should be. Yep. Humble hearts, fearless fists. It's
Yeah,
right
that's
there on
it.
the logo. So, and it's in the supportive environment is where you ought to be. I look at Joe as an inspiration for me, and it can be hard sometimes because, you know, you're going to be a little bit older, and you'll see maybe your classmates improve a bit faster than you at certain times. But the problem is you don't see the improvement inside yourself. That is happening. That is happening.
Yep.
It's hard to be on the outside looking in but just take the feedback you get to heart. Like, one of my
Yep.
problems is I let a lot of the early feedback that I was getting, hey man, you're improving, just keep at it. I wasn't really taking that fully to heart, and I was really just trying to just grind it out. Take that to heart, because they're noticing changes in you. They're noticing improvement. And that's your ticket right there. That's your ding, ding, ding moment. Wow, hey, I'm kind of getting this. I might not feel it, but these people are noticing it, who
Yep.
have done it a lot longer than me.
Right. I think half of it too is like the last podcast we had, he was talking in different languages about like appreciating your hard work. Yeah,
Shinkula.
that's it.
Shinkula.
Yeah.
Like
It's like,
that.
if you're in here working towards something, you're gonna improvement is inevitable
it.
if you're gonna be here and putting in the work.
That's it.
So
If you're-
appreciate the fact that you're even here and working. You know,
If you're paying attention, putting in the hard work, you will improve.
that's right.
Being-
No matter how slow, how fast, you will improve.
What Caleb was saying with the Shinkula was like, you know, they say that a lot, like, thank you so much for your hard work. You did a great job. You
Yep.
know, it's like
Right.
being grateful, being appreciative, like
Yep.
truly appreciative. And so we got to make sure we do that to ourselves sometimes.
Right.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you can work so hard and you can be your worst critic. And sometimes you just got to pat yourself on the back and say, you know
Yeah.
what? Delmar, you did a good job.
That's right.
John, you did great today.
Doing good, man. Yeah.
Joe,
You're probably
doing good.
worse than I am about this. Like, I beat myself up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I bring myself back to that sometimes. Like, if I'm not doing anything, I'll beat myself up even more.
That's it.
But when I'm really working, like, and I'm feeling that way about beating myself, then I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad.
Right.
You're working hard. Like, I know when I'm working towards something.
I know. It's funny you said that. I know when I've had that moment, and I'm kind of turning the corner because everybody used to be like, "Man, you're your own worst enemy. Man, you're your own worst critic." And I know that. I was like, "Man, I know, John. You gotta chill out on yourself." But like, I would at those tournaments, and for me to do tournaments, let me tell YouTube land. That's way, 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 way out of my comfort zone. I came here. I just wanted to get my white sash and be gone. Yo, peace
You're
out.
in there winning
Thank you.
golds.
Man, I tell you what, and that's it. I had to work for my first gold. The first few tournaments I didn't win gold. I had to work for it. The third tournament I won gold, and I remember being in my car driving to meet them for dinner, going, I found myself saying this, John, you did it. John, you did it. John, you did it.
Let me tell you this,
And-
even sparring today, if I didn't know you, I wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have, that age is not even considerate. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
there's no way, like, I wouldn't even thought you were 52, like, the way you're moving everything,
Thank
you
you.
know?
Well-
Like, same with Mr. Ed, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, listen.
I mean, I'll
Oh,
never
my
forget the
gosh.
first time I seen him throw a kick. I'm like, oh my,
Look,
goodness.
man, let me
Phenomenal
tell you
things
what
that
I've learned. The older guys that do martial arts, those are the ones that'll hurt you.
Right.
You better watch those guys. Those that old lady, that old man. He gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
All right.
They
You better
cause
respect
pain.
them. Yes. There's a reason
Right.
in Asian culture why they say make sure you respect your elders.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They ain't playing with you.
Yeah.
I had an uncle. He was I was probably a teenager, a young and cocky teenager. I wasn't real cocky, but like I had my moments, you know. But I mean, he was probably in his late 50s, and he like just he challenged like me, like just like it wasn't even like an arm wrestle, but he challenged me like, go ahead, like pull me, you know, like wrestle with me or
Like
whatever.
Indian wrestle.
Like
sort of.
yeah, I like grabbed
cut
him
wrestle, arm wrestle.
and like, you know, this guy. I mean, God rest his soul. Like, you know, he drank a lot too, and he wasn't very active. But so I'm thinking, like, are you serious?
Right.
Yeah.
Like I got this.
Yeah, I grabbed him. He's solid as a freaking brick wall.
Oh,
I'm
man.
like, what
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
You don't want to. What was that famous quote Steve Smith said? Old man strength versus young man strength. Old man strength going to win every time.
Every
yeah.
single time.
Right.
Listen.
Right. I feel like I had the kids and I hit 30, and it's like I'm tapping into just like a tiny bit of it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not there yet, but I
Yeah.
think I'm finally getting a little bit of it.
Yeah.
That
Look, I hate to use a Dragon Ball reference, but you'll understand what I mean. You're going to feel like a Super Saiyan one day.
Yeah.
You just be like, what happened to me? I just got
Right.
strong all
right.
of a sudden.
Right.
It's so weird. Like, it's
Right.
like, man, like, where's the strength coming from?
That's funny you said that because when I was doing my first tournament, when I was going out doing my first cardio training, when I was going out, you know, hitting the pavement, really like you know,
Yeah.
I got the wake up call from sparring that one time when I had to spar, well, a couple of guys in here. It was a wake up call, and I remember I'd been training probably about 4, 5, 6 weeks gone by, and I'm thinking, man, I should be feeling pretty good. I should be feeling pretty doggone
Right.
good, and I kind of wasn't, but then I remember. One night I was tired. I went to bed, and then it was funny. 4 o'clock came around, boom, my eyes just opened up, and I was like, John, whether you like it or not, you're getting your butt out of bed, and you're
That's
practicing
right.
forms, and you're going out there running
You're gonna go work.
because my body was telling me, hey man, this is new. This is what I want. This is what I desire. It was spiritual fuel, and it got me to, like, it was a feeling that I hadn't felt. And it was a youthful feeling, and it's you know it's hilarious. I love it. You just got to go with it, you know. You
Right.
just got to go with it, and,
Right.
and that's the benefits from training. Is it takes you a while, but you stay at it, you'll get there.
Yeah. It's a constant thing of being, you know, gaining confidence and being humbled, and gaining confidence
it.
and being humbled. It's like a cycle. Yeah. But
I'll tell you guys this, as you know, the deeper you get in this, the more you will realize that, man, you don't really know as much as you think you know, but you still know a lot.
Right.
Right.
It's just kind of like life. You learn a lot about life, but then you realize you don't know a lot about life.
The more you know, the more you realize you don't know.
Exactly.
Like,
That's it. That's it. The longer you live, the more you realize you don't know.
yeah.
And the crazy thing is, I look at all these guys in the martial arts community, and they have all these different skills. And for me, one thing that I've thought about, and I don't know if anybody else has been thinking about this, but like, particularly in Kung Fu, everybody seems to kind of have a skill. Like you develop a skill. Like maybe that guy's skill is he's got iron palm, or that guy's skill is he can
Flexibility.
right? That guy's skill is he
I'm
can
envious.
jump,
Kick
Yeah.
super high.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so sometimes I'm like, I'm within myself, and I'm like, man, what's my skill gonna be? What am I gonna develop, or what do I want my skill to be?
Right.
Because it's like,
Yeah. That's another thing. It will never lie to you. Your Kung Fu will never, ever lie to you. It'll keep you honest on what your strengths and weaknesses are. That's something I appreciate about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I 100%. I'm still learning. It's a constant. Like Matt says, it's a marathon,
Yeah.
not a sprint. But it definitely shows me where my strengths and weaknesses are.
Well, part of getting out of your comfort zone is getting uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and I'll be honest with you, I get intimidated stepping into the sparring ring. I do. A lot of my classmates are
Yeah.
more experienced than me, but you get to a point where you just do it on the faith that you know that you're in a proper environment that's going to nurture you and not promote the kind
It's
of
going to meet you where you're at.
meet you where you're at.
Yeah.
You know, you have Sifus watching you and instructors, great instructors like Sihi Matt and Dai Sihi Trevor.
Matt always
and
says
Brian.
there's no cardio. That's what I meant to say earlier when you were talking about you were running and you felt like you were in a good shape and you got in the sparring ring and then you're like, man,
Yeah.
there's no cardio like sparring cardio.
man, I'm telling you.
not.
There
There's
is
not.
There,
You can run and run. Like, I'm not saying don't run. You should run.
You
should run.
You can't be too over prepared to spar.
When you get and even hitting the bag, right? Like, I can go over here at the bag for 10 minutes, you know what I mean, and hit it pretty good. But like when you get a person in front of you, especially like sometimes we go light, sometimes we go a little harder. When you pick up that pace, there's no cardio like that.
no.
You know, that's why you teach the whole trying to stay relaxed, you know.
Yeah,
And
you
have-
better.
You
have
better.
and have you
Yeah.
a good training partner who knows when to, like, hey, scale it back a little bit, or hey, let's just go light.
Talking about the older people like trying to hurt you. That's how I felt today with John. Like, out of everybody, I was like, there was a moment in our second match where I was like I cracked my neck and I was like, in order to counter this, I would have to try like to knock you out, like to hit as hard as I could. And I was like, let's dial it down, just one. You know what I mean? I was like, dang, like I'm about to have to hit as hard as I can.
I wanted to be a worthy opponent.
You
for Joe.
were,
I
you
probably was
were.
a little bit too worthy, but
I'm needing it because I'm trying to do a fight. So
Yeah.
obviously, you know,
I mean, for me to go in there
fun.
and not give my all with what he's got coming up would do him an injustice.
right. And
So,
I'm glad. And some people won't get that. Like, you know, some people will still come in there and not, you know. So I appreciate it.
Let me tell you, it got you. You were dishing it out there, and I was feeling it. So trust me, like I think it was overall good.
It was great.
Good.
It was great. Yeah, the whole thing was.
And
great.
I think, and that's what I'm saying, like a lot of people are missing, the camaraderie.
Yeah.
Just like a parent, I'm learning this as a teacher. Once again, you have to push people.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to make you uncomfortable. If I don't
Right.
make you uncomfortable,
That's right.
you're not going to get better.
If I've been in here a little bit and I'm trying to do a full contact fight, that's what I need.
Yeah.
You meet where they're at.
Yeah.
Somebody walks in the door, you're not gonna hit them like that.
No.
You know what I mean? Not right off the bat.
No,
Like
I
you know,
would not aspire to beginner like anybody.
Right.
Like
Right.
the way we
Even
go at it.
like when I was sparring with the teens, like When I say I felt bad, I don't think I threw anything harder than I should have, but I felt like that is probably the hardest I've hit a team. But I'm in the mindset of like, you're sparring continuously all these people. You're round robining all these fresh things. But also with one of them, I was trying to kind of teach them. Like I was hitting one of them with the jab, and I was like just trying to get her to move her head, But, again, you meet them where they're at.
And
it keeps going back to that.
And I give the teenagers credit. That's one of the few times where I'm like, okay, this kid's getting pretty tough.
Right, right.
They're not just backing down. I was
Right.
like, no, you need to get in there.
Right.
You need to go after him. And a lot of times they'd be more timid. But this time it was kind of like, okay, I'm going to try to go in there.
They weren't
think,
afraid to mix it up with the
right.
adults that time.
Exactly.
That's what I
Finally.
I use the
Yeah.
names, but I think
Finally.
Cadence hit her a couple times coming in, and she slowed a little, but she tried to be more tactical. She didn't shell up. She
Right.
just got a little more tactical.
Right.
Timmy did great. That's why I tried to tell him, you were doing your best when you were striking. Because there was like 2 times he shelled up a little bit. I've seen it. And I'm trying to break that habit myself so I know what it looks like. But that never does you any good. So I'm not pelting him, but I'm like, when you shell up, that is my opportunity to tee off.
But here's the thing that, everybody's saying from that experience. Even for me, even though like I'm outside coaching and things of that nature. And that's something I had to learn. I know I'm kind of being random, but as a teacher, at one point it was always like, of course I want to work out with you guys because I'm like, I want to work out today. I want to get my stuff in. But then I had to realize like, wait a second, I need to take a step back and I need to be that overarching oversight sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if I'm not watching and
Yeah.
I'm always involved doing something else, I'm missing out on somebody who might need their technique corrected a little bit or, hey, do it like this. And so one thing that I try to do is I try to get my reps in when I'm demoing,
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's like,
That's
okay,
smart.
I'm gonna do a couple of reps here, get my reps in here. And if it's something I feel like everybody's kind of doing well, then I'll jump in.
Yeah.
But if I feel like people need my assistance to kind of watch them, I'll step back. And I make sure on my off days, I try to get my reps in. So like maybe
Yeah.
a few weeks ago when you guys sparred, I didn't get a chance to do any sparring like I wanted to because I was watching everybody. So like I came in like the next day or whatever, and I made sure I did all my rounds on the bag, got in some good cardio and stuff like that. Because even as an instructor, I think a lot of times people don't realize like you still want to keep up with your students. You need to still be improving.
Right.
You shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm here. Well, guess what you guys are doing?
Right.
And then another thing, like when it strictly comes to fitness, right? Like anybody that you train and train, it's not all about fitness, but like when you train and train and train, and not just fitness, like flexibility, your technique, even technique. Once you reach a high level, you've hit that level. It doesn't mean you stop training and you think you'll be that good forever.
Yeah.
If you sit and you're idle, if I was idle right now and I just stopped, like, give me 1 month and I'm going to be, you go downhill quicker than you go uphill.
Oh my goodness.
It happens fast.
I'll
Yes,
be like,
yes.
I will be in terrible shape.
That's the shame. Once you're in shape, you kind of got to stay in
You've
shape.
got to stay there.
Especially when you're older,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it hits you way faster.
Yeah, it goes quick. Trust me. Like if I don't after that tournament, if I don't get out there, maybe after a couple weeks and start running again, I'm back to square one.
Yeah.
Because you just can't.
Yeah, you gotta climb back up the hill.
You got to climb back up the
Man.
hill, and
It's tough.
It's tough. That's the dedication. But when you're in that kind of environment, it's just a seasonal thing. Kung Fu. This is funny. Kung Fu has no off season.
Nope.
Yeah.
We're training.
Consistency.
We're
Yes.
training.
Consistency over intensity.
And if you think there's an off season, your competition is out there hitting the bag, hitting
That's
the
right.
pavement.
I follow David Goggins a lot, and he's not a fighter, but he actually worked out with a bunch of fighters. You know what I mean? Either way, he wrote a couple books, but one of the things he was talking about is like the same thing we're talking about right now is if you stop and then you try to get back into something. Like he's talking about how fighters go through a camp. It's like 3 months, 5 months, whatever, to get in shape for the fight, and then they'll fight, and then they'll back off. Like that's their lifestyle, which I respect it. I mean, respect anybody that does that kind of thing.
Right.
But like in his mindset, he's like, just for his well-being, the way he lives, even though he's not a fighter, he just trains, but he says like he stays there. You want to
Right.
stay in that fight
Yeah, you
camp,
stay in that mindset.
365.
That's it.
You know,
And I think, for me, I see both sides of the coin because here at our school, a lot of people are like, oh, are we getting this holiday off? No.
Right.
Yeah.
We're still going to train.
Yeah.
Something I take for granted for myself is that I am very blessed, and I'm at a point in my life where I'm able to train like a lot,
Yeah.
5-6 days a week,
Yeah.
without things getting in the way.
Yeah.
Some people aren't, and I totally get it. I totally get that.
And that's what something I was going to mention out there for the people watching is, yes, if you have health issues, heart conditions, things like that, definitely check with your doctor. Make sure you make
Yeah,
sure
be
you
safe.
can handle a little bit of a physical activity. You're not going to go in there the first day and tear yourself up by any means, but you want to make sure you got a little bit of a foundation under you before you're just jumping in.
Right. I'd say also if it comes to a time constraint, this could be any age bracket. If a time constraint is your issue, think about it this way. Like, I get discouraged because we talk about like we're doing Shaolin Kung Fu, right? Northern Shaolin, but you think about like the monks, right? They train 8 hours a day.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So that can be discouraging, but you can't let that bother you. I train as much as I can, so don't compare yourself to like others. But like if you're worried about your time constraint, like 1 day a week is better than 0.
Yep.
Yeah.
1 push-up is better than 0.
Right.
Like
Right.
an hour of training is better than 0.
Right. Right.
So
Right. Yeah, we
it.
We don't live at the temple, and we're all not monks. So we all have
Right.
9 to 5.
we all live in the
eight to-
current age, the society. It's
Exactly.
We were just talking about this earlier before we got on the podcast, how one of the old karate master, Choki Matobu, I don't know if he said this, but I saw a quote. Basically, he was kind of saying, like, basically, you got to kind of give yourself some release sometimes. You got to relax a
Yep.
little bit. Like, so basically, his quote was, in a sense, sort of being contradictory in the fact, like, you always hear about, build up your body, do this and stuff. And he was kind of like saying, nah, sometimes drink a beer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
That's your thing.
Eat a
That's your
Twinkie.
thing? Yeah.
eat a Twinkie, relax a little bit,
Yep. Live a little bit.
Go,
Hey.
Even Master Roshi said that. He said even warriors need their rest.
You do.
Yeah.
That's their. It's train hard, study well, eat and sleep plenty.
Yeah.
It's Kung Fu is about balance. Martial arts is about balance, and there cannot be an all work and no play at all.
Yeah, you
balance.
need both.
You
Yeah.
have to. You have
You
to.
need both.
You have to
Right.
balance it out.
You have to, a lot of people don't realize, when you have the yin and yang symbol like that's behind me.
Yep.
That's why in the white area there's a little bit of black, and in the black area there's a little bit of white.
Right.
Because anything to an extreme can be bad.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Even if it's perceived to be good, you can work out 24/7 and that still be bad for your
Oh
body.
yeah. Eventually, it's gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a toll.
And that's
it's gonna take a toll. That's how I felt.
And
last week.
that's what we say in here is when, as a matter of fact, today we're conditioning, not injuring.
Oh, that's a good way to do. Yeah.
There's a fine line. And,
Right, right.
And what good is injuring yourself? Then you can't train. You can't condition.
Our
you
whole
can't
goal
do
is to
anything.
defend ourselves. If you get
Exactly.
injured, you can't defend
You
yourself.
can't defend yourself. Coach
Right.
might be
Goes-
out of.
yep. So
Exactly.
I mean, it's so much wisdom in that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
Right.
It's true. You should be taking care of yourself. And so, for me, and I understand everybody's not like that. If you're younger, maybe you want to do a lot of hard sparring and you want to do full contact fighting and you want to do MMA. Okay, that's fine. However, just know the consequences that stuff will eventually catch up to you as
take
you
a toll.
age.
Yeah.
It will take a toll.
Yeah.
And you do have a shelf life.
Yeah.
So just know. And that's one thing that I really appreciated about doing like karate and kung fu, more traditional style arts, because if I want to go to that area, I can.
Yep.
Right.
But if
Yep.
I don't want to go to that area, I don't have to.
You don't have to.
And, And you made a great point earlier on with me. Like, hey, you might have that tournament where you're going to be sparring. You might have that tournament where, hey, I'm probably just going to work my forms and maybe do some push hands or something on this tournament.
Yeah.
It's all in, martial arts can be just like a big salad bar, and you take and choose what you want, fill up your plate, and you put back what you don't want. And hey, you got a plate full, that's great.
Yep.
And just it's good to mix it up because you stay you want to have a well-seasoned training a repertoire. You want your kung fu to have that Old Bay, like Seafood likes to say all the time.
There's one more thing that I'll say about kung fu specifically, and they are of the mindset that there's always more to learn. There's always room to grow. It's not like you learn this and then it's like, oh, boom, that's it.
Right.
You know, it's
Right.
there's always something more to improve or to keep pushing for.
A rank to achieve.
Yes, right.
Let me give you guys some advice. It is so easy to get caught up when you learn new things that's what you just focus on. I encourage you when you learn something new. Let's say you learn a new form. It's okay. You're maybe putting a little bit more time in because it's new, it's fresh. But take that time and go back and look at something older that you did. Go back. Can you go back through what you're doing and find something new? Because
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if as you improve, when you go back and review older material or things you've done before, you go, oh, I didn't see that before.
Yeah,
I'm better at that. Or, oh, that's what that was. I missed that the first time.
right. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I've improved in a lot of areas where I've not done things in other areas, and I look back and like, dang, I was really getting after that.
Right.
You know, now I've slacked off in that area. I'm better in this area. It's a balance.
Right,
There's a lot
right.
to it. So
And it's a revolution. I mean, it's like, okay, well, you probably put that on the back burner, but you'll get back around to it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's
right.
something that's all in part of the training. But if you resign, if you resignate yourself, if you stop, if you get beat yourself up, burned out, once you stop, you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
The key is longevity. Keep
yeah,
it
don't
going.
stay down. If
Keep
you
it
got to
going.
take a break, you take a break.
Take a break.
But you get back up.
Take a break, saying, okay, I'm gonna rest this week. I'm gonna be back Saturday. I'm gonna be back in the class.
Right.
Yeah.
Sunday, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna do forms outside while they're training us. I'm gonna show up early on Monday and I'm gonna work with the teens. I'm gonna work with the kids class.
Right.
You know, you make up for your setbacks, and that's not even a setback. You just take a rest period.
Yeah,
Rest
it can be a spring forward if you do it properly.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
Exactly.
You know, I encourage everybody out there, no matter your age, no matter your skill level, get more involved in your school. You know, if you get more involved in your school, it can be something as simple as keeping the place clean.
Yes.
That little things like that can give you pride, can develop a martial mentality.
When you complain, it's like you're doing nothing for yourself or
No.
nobody around you.
No, no,
like,
no.
like you said earlier, right? Like even kids in school, right? Middle school, high school, whatever. It's like I'm sure there's a lot of them that don't want to be there. I was one of them.
Right.
But you're there.
You're there.
There's your opportunity. Just do the best you can.
Do the best you can.
Why not?
Get the most out of it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a firm believer in that, and it's. I kind of forgot the point I made, but it all goes back to getting into a good school, one that tests your ability, but doesn't. You're not there to injure yourself. You're not there to kill yourself. You're not there to beat yourself up. You're there to build yourself up.
Yeah. Yep.
So I encourage everybody get into martial arts. It's a fun activity. It will keep you young. That's another reason that I definitely like the traditional art, because I see a lot of these guys and I'm like, how old are you? What? You're that age and you don't look like it? I need to do what you're doing.
Right.
I don't know what you're doing, but I need to do. Oh, you can move like that and you're how old? Okay, I need to do what you're doing because I want to be like that. I literally look at older people now that do martial arts and I go, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
I want to be that guy when I'm in my 80s.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I can still do X, Y, and Z. You know,
Right.
Exactly.
I don't
Right.
want to be a feeble old man. I'm not
Yeah.
going to be that.
Right.
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 So, guys, you have anything else that you want to say before we end this topic? John, you got any encouragement for anybody out in YouTube land or listening on the pod?
You know, I just hope I could inspire just maybe that one person to get out there and do something for themselves. And hey, you know what? If you let us know, comment in this comment section, write a comment, say, hey, I actually went out and I joined a school and I feel great, or I did this, I got my white sash. Hey, I feel great. You know, that's great. You know, we love to hear feedback like that.
Yep.
What about you, Joe?
I would say the same. Whether it be martial arts or not, though, if no matter your age, if you've ever said to yourself like, I wanted to try this, or I'd like to do this. Do it. What are you waiting for? Like, it could be picking up an instrument. It could be drawing. Just a hobby, fishing. Like, it could be something new. If you've ever said, like, I want to try this, do it. Don't wait, because if you wait, that day will turn into a week, that week will turn into a month, that years will go by before you know it, you've never even done it, and you'll regret it.
Tomorrow never comes.
Yep. Do it.
And I'll definitely say this, I always hear this quote, and I don't know if it's true or not, but you hear a lot of people say, I got more years behind me than ahead of me. So if there's something that you want to do it now, because tomorrow's not promised.
That's right.
We don't know when our time will come. But guess what? When my time comes, I want to make sure I live my life to the fullest as much as possible. And I left some kind of life lessons and legacy here on this earth, when my time is, when I'm ready to move on to the next arena, whatever that is. But, me personally, I have now come to the point where, hey, if I want to do something, whether it's in the martial arts or in my personal life, I'm going to do my best to do it. But like both of you have said, I think martial arts has given me the tools to goal set. Mm-hmm. So now I'm not taking reckless risks anymore. Right. I'm taking measured risks to meet my goals.
Not only risks, but expectations too.
Yes,
like,
yes.
It's like, yes. I don't expect to be like champion of such and such tomorrow.
Exactly.
Set reasonable goals, but achievable goals.
Achievable, right.
And to touch on what Sifu just said, the older you get, you can carry a lot of regrets along with you. Don't let, hey man, I shoulda, I coulda, I wish I woulda joined a martial arts school or tried some martial arts.
You still can.
Don't let that be one of your regrets. Cross that off your bucket list and do it for yourself.
Yes, because I promise you, once you do it, and my advice to everybody, consistency. Mm-hmm. If you go to class regularly, you have no choice but to be better. I don't care how bad you think you are. If you continue to go to class and you practice regularly at home, go to class, practice regularly at home, you will get better. It does not matter. And don't try to always compare yourself to your classmates.
Right.
Because this is your journey.
Yep.
This is for you.
That's right.
And make sure you always remember that. So if you're doing something and maybe you're not good at it yet, well, guess what? One day you will be. Mm-hmm. When that day will be is determined on your hard work. It's determined on your motivation. But you will get there. Just know you will get there, and you will have people around you that will help you get there. These guys inspire me. Hopefully I inspire them. So guess what? It's a back and forth. Sir. There's a balance. And so we're inspiring each other. So guess what we're doing? We're both growing, and that's what we want. We want to make sure that we're growing. So hopefully this podcast has helped you grow, and hopefully we will see in your comments where you have encouraged somebody to join a school, or you're joining a school yourself, or even just tell us about some of your martial accomplishments. We love to hear about that. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that noti bell. And this is Martial Mentality signing off. Peace.